3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, Sarah here tonight, June 21st, 2018. Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. And tonight I'm right here, and Dan is right behind the cameras, and he's gonna ask me some questions tonight about Litecoin. So let's see.
So first off, we're gonna be getting your wallet set up officially, your first one.
Woohoo!
Today or tomorrow. Are you excited?
I am very excited.
Are you nervous?
No at all.
Second question, more importantly, for everybody that might be discouraged or frustrated or annoyed because cryptocurrency and Litecoin is down right now, under $100. What could you say to them?
Hey, this is the best opportunity to invest. We don't know when it's gonna be this cheap again, and I know it's gonna be high very soon because everything that goes down, it must go up. And I've been saying that for like a month. So I have faith that it's going to go and be really, really high.
Okay, so what if Litecoin goes down to like $50?
Okay, this is probably the best advice, but I will probably buy a lot. And since I'm going to open my new wallet tonight or tomorrow, so I get so excited, I guess.
So this is, that's definitely not financial advice.
No.
Okay, lastly, what is your favorite cryptocurrency YouTube channel?
Tyler S.
What? Tyler S. Sarah? I'm just kidding. I forgive you. I think Tyler S. is probably my favorite crypto YouTuber as well. So it's all good. Sarah, thank you so much for doing that. Spice up the channel a little bit instead of my boring old face. And I know it's not easy to do a video for your first time being in front of the camera that long. You did awesome. But I want to talk about Litecoin in this video. I want to look at the charts. And I did a video earlier today about Bitcoin. And really I talked about moving averages. I talked about pullbacks. I was talking about snapbacks a lot. I said that term way too much. I'm going to try and avoid that. But let's talk about Litecoin and look at what's going on right now and some possibilities. So if you haven't seen the video earlier, I talked about Bitcoin. I talked about moving averages. Definitely check it out. I talked about what moving averages are. Very simple to understand. So in this video, we're going to start in basically this bear market area in 2013 to 2015, and we're going to look at this really quick for context to where we are now in Litecoin. So really, I just want to point out, if you look at the 50 EMA on Litecoin, this blue line right here, and you notice it in regards to the Litecoin and how it's moving. What do you notice? You notice that Litecoin always pulls back to that 50 EMA. And this is a very well-known strategy. It's basically called a pullback strategy or a snapback strategy, where once something is way oversold and it's far away from a moving average, it doesn't just have to be 50 EMA. I'm using that in this example. This is an entry point for many traders, especially when there are trend lines involved, especially when there are support areas involved. It's a very good way to, if you want to try and time the market, to time the market. If you want to try and time a dip, to time a dip. So I want to point that out. So let's just take the price range tool, and I just want to point something out right now. So here, let's look at this dip we had, right, from the 50 EMA, around 50%. Let's take this dip from the 50 EMA, 50%. Let's take this dip from the 50 EMA, 50%. So even at the second dip here from the 50 EMA, at that point you might be realizing something, which is to say, man, when Litecoin dips 50% away from the 50 EMA, it might be a good time to buy. So by the third time it happened, it actually was a great time to buy. And if you're trading, even on the second time, great time to buy. So let's take that thought process and let's go all the way to where we are now. This is currently. And let's take that same thought process, this snapback strategy, and just look at some things, because it's also on the flip side. So we can go back to 2017 and kind of just look at the charts a little bit and check it out. Here's the blue 50 EMA. So we kind of pulled away from a little bit, and then we snapped back to it when we were around 43% away. Okay, so let's do it here. 47. Let's do it here. 35. So really that 30 to 50% area for a pullback back to the 50 EMA kind of proves true. So similarly, let's look at these recent dips in Litecoin, just like we were looking at them right here, okay? Not as dramatic of a bear market happening right now, but let's look at it. So let's take the measurement tool from this first dip to the blue 50 EMA line, and it wicked down to 43%. Let's go to the second one. So let's do it like right around there. We're right in 33%. And let's look at where we are right now. Let me expand this a little bit. So 50 EMA, where we are now, we're around 20%. So with keeping that in mind, I want to talk about a couple things because I feel like this provides really good context to where we are right now, because obviously nobody knows what's going to happen next. If we were at a 40% or 50% area under the 50 EMA, I would probably feel a little bit more short-term bullish than I do now, although I am a little bit optimistic that we could have a pullback or a snapback to that 50 EMA to, test that 120 area or even that 130 area, which is between the 250 EMA. That would be an extremely bullish scenario for Litecoin. But I also mainly want to talk about the downside. So we have these pullbacks away from this 50 EMA, and they've kind of have been in that 30 to 50% range. So right now we're sitting at around 20%. So if we were to have 30 to 50%, what price would that look like? Well, we have a 32% right at $80, and then we have a 50% at $59. So $60 to $80 is that 30 to 50% mark, right? So what do I think with that data that we have available right now? What do I think is actually going to happen? Well, if we don't have volume step in, I'm not as bullish as I want to be. I can't say that this third bottom is looking very promising right now. You can look at the second bottom and say it looks a lot similar, but the market sentiment back then in this beginning of April area is way different than it is right now. So unless volume steps in, I could say we might definitely be testing the 80 mark. So I just want to throw this out there because this is important. This is something I've talked about time and time again in accumulation in my kind of trading strategy when I talk about a heavy buy zone. And I haven't done it in a while because I told you as we were kind of approaching this $100 range, I wanted to wait and see what happens under $100. Now that we have some data, my heavy buy range is that that $60 to $80 range. And I know that sounds extremely bearish, and I'm not trying to discourage you, but I have to be realistic in terms of where we are in the market right now. If volume doesn't come in, right? If money doesn't come in right now, there's nothing that's really going to drive the price up in where we are. However, this zone down here, right, is extremely, based on past historical evidence, extremely great buy zone, right in this 40 to 50% down from that 50 EMA. Historically, it's a phenomenal area to buy and accumulate. So I just want to let you know that's my heavy buy zone. That doesn't mean I'm not buying where we are now. It doesn't mean I won't be buying, in the $80 plus range. This is my heavy buy zone. Will that happen? I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what will happen. I'm here to kind of look at charts, to see patterns, to spot good accumulation zones. And it's especially hard to do in this downtrend of a market that we have right now because it's impossible to time the bottom. But what you have to do is anticipate your best case scenarios on the upside as well as the downside, and then formulate a plan. So you just kind of saw my plan in terms of accumulation, in terms of what I'm anticipating. I'm not saying that we won't get a bounce here soon, and I'll end the video by talking about that. You can look at the 4-hour chart right now, and it paints a little bit of a picture of where we are. Coming down from that recent high of 180, you see a ton of resistance on this 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart. over and over again, and even most recently, you know, June 19th a couple of days ago, and then June 20th yesterday. But you can see where we are now in this 4 hour at this bottom. We're really in this triangle, right? Now, since we have a downtrend happening, this continuation triangle could be a continuation indication of a continued downtrend. So it doesn't have to be a bullish bounce right now, but it really could go either way. But it's just something to look out for and kind of keep an eye on the smaller time frames if you want to look for support. So right now at the bottom of the triangle, we definitely don't want to break this previous higher low at around $93. We're not far from it, but that would be an indication of a possible continued downtrend. So be careful right now with where you are. But other than that, I tweeted this earlier, as more and more people are bailing out on cryptocurrency and Litecoin, I can't even explain to you the opportunity that it provides for you to step into this industry, this market, whether it's investing, whether it's, you know, getting involved, whatever it is. As people leave, now is the time for building. Now is the time for accumulation. This is when people make money, mainly when people are losing money. It's a little ironic, but true. So trade conservatively, invest conservatively, be careful out there. Don't spend more money than you can afford to lose, obviously. But these are some of my thoughts. What do you think? Where are you kind of in this story of this crazy chart on the screen right now as we continue to kind of bounce around in this 4 hour chart and kind of bounce down on this daily chart? Everybody knows I'm bullish on this industry. I'm bullish on Litecoin. Maybe short term, we might be seeing another leg down. Not an issue. Creates opportunity, if anything. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Appreciate you for coming by. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as part of the channel. As always, I will see you in the next video, and God bless.